The Trump administration's seemingly bottomless appetite for disrupting, contorting, or outright demolishing everything in sight begs a question. What's their endgame? There isn't one single clear answer because there isn't one single scheme at work. There are actually three. I'm Matt Robison, a contributor for Newsweek, and let's look at what the three schemes are inside the Trump administration and just how far they might go. There's one faction led by President Donald Trump himself that's the easiest to figure. They're simply motivated by power and payback. The whole world knows by now that they can play Trump by flattering him, and he's been on a nonstop rampage of revenge ever since he got back into office. Even things like his obsession with raising tariffs seem to be motivated by the rush of power he gets and how much he enjoys people begging him to keep them out of it. But beyond that, there's no evidence that Trump has any core principles, attachments, or goals. His endgame is just about ever more control, veneration, and vengeance. And much of his cabinet and Republican congressional leadership are along for that ride. Now, there's a second faction led by Office of Management and Budget head Russell Vought, made up of Heritage Foundation-infused true believers who see the entire government as a cancer needing radical chemo. They actually believe that the Americans who work in our government need to be put into trauma in order to drive them out. In Vaught's words, only through this kind of aggressive use of the vast powers of the executive branch can they break the bureaucracy and restore their imagined originalist vision of the republic. The third faction, the tech right, is led by Elon Musk, and they're the most extreme. They believe in the Dark Enlightenment movement. That's why Musk wears those black dark MAGA hats. It's led by blogger Yarvin. They envision the inevitable total collapse of the existing structure of American government. Since they believe that democracy is done, their aim is to speed things up so that they can get a new tech-infused hierarchy in place with one of them at the top. They're basically Ra's al Ghul from the Batman movies.
The city has become a breeding ground for suffering and injustice. It is beyond saving and must be allowed to die.
Three factions, three agendas, one nestled inside the next like a Russian Matryoshka doll. So, where will all of this end up? For the time being, the three forces are aligned and reinforcing each other. But whether this dark MAGA alliance can continue to hold is unclear. So far, the courts have mostly pushed back against the worst abuses, and declines in popular support for Trump and J.D. Vance are making other Republicans really nervous about continuing to walk the plank for an extreme agenda. Not to mention that these are parasitic relationships among erratic parties with a history of strife. But the mere fact that people with such radical endgames have so much power and have gotten this far is worth knowing.